There's been talk for many years about how fund management can help create a better society. Latest research shows that Luxembourg is just one of a handful of fund hubs that helps channel money from investors into developing markets. We're here to speak to the Chief Executive of SGG, Serge Krancenblum, to discuss how this process works. Are you convinced that an investment hub such as Luxembourg can really help facilitate higher growth and tax income in developing countries?
I do believe that investment hubs like Luxembourg can definitely contribute to more foreign direct investment. You are an investor, so you want the best return, so you need diversification as well. So you go to emerging countries. But to go to emerging countries, you take a huge risk. You know, the ecosystem is not ready, so you need an investment hub to do the connecting between the two countries, the country of the investors and the country of investment, where you have the right legal system, very stable. Unfortunately, in a lot of emerging countries, for example, you know, there are issues like corruption. And you have to make sure that the people, professionals, and especially investor services firms like SGG, are going to make sure that things are done in a very legitimate and compliant manner. So we have to report any suspicious transaction. So this is not easy because, I mean, you have to have your own risk policy, you know, your risk appetite. But we are very strict on those kind of things, and we are part of the solution for the regulator. We are not part of the problem. It's exactly the contrary.
But there is still this public perception of the investment, the financial industry as some kind of self-serving clique that levels high charges, that has low tax in secret centres. Can Luxembourg help to change this perception?
But you're fully right. I mean, that impression is still there, but it will change completely. Now with the fight against money laundering, the fight against tax havens, and you know, there is a very big difference between an investment hub and a tax haven. Investment hubs are there to make the connection between different countries, you know, to make the transformation, it's like when you have a plug, you know, you need to have the right connector in order to plug your phone, to charge your phone. And those investment hubs are there for this. So there is a huge difference with tax havens. And the fight against unfair tax practices is there. So, I mean, you are not going to aim at Luxembourg nowadays for unfair tax practices. Everyone is in the light now. So people cannot afford to do anything which is not ethical or legitimate. It's a complete transformation. So I definitely think that the market and globally, you know, the people are going to see hubs like Luxembourg as a facilitation for direct investment and not anymore for old stories about taxes and other things, unfair practices.
And can Luxembourg be more than this connector that you described? Can it actually be a centre of excellence where some of the best brains about ethical investing, about impact investing, about philanthropy are gathered to build that expertise here?
But this is exactly what we are building for the time being on that market. And not only on that market, I mean, I just want to remind you that I'm in 23 countries. So we are today in Luxembourg, and we are speaking of Luxembourg specifically. But for example, Luxembourg is a center of excellence for compliance. You know, we have incredible companies which have been built here. There is a company, I mean, that does enhanced due diligence for more than 200 financial companies called Scope. It was built in Luxembourg, and really Luxembourg sells those services and provide those services all across the different hubs, you know, from here. So it's a real center of excellence.
Serge Krancenblum, thank you very much.
Thank you, Yuri. It's a pleasure.
So for those fund managers and private banks who want to relocate some of their operations after Brexit, what can Luxembourg offer them? Well, a mixture of modernity and tradition. Access to the European market for sure. Innovation in products such as private equity and socially responsible investments. But there is also more than that. Many voices here in Luxembourg want to consign that image of a self-serving clique of an industry levying high charges, promising meagre performance to the dustbin of European history. Instead, they want to substitute a socially responsible industry that will work for the good of society. And they want that expertise to be centred here in Luxembourg.